Hey guys, it's Coaster Nerd Weekly, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. Copperhead Strike is located at Carowinds, which is in both North and South Carolina. However, Copperhead Strike is in the South Carolina side of the park. The ride opened in 2019 and is the newest coaster in the park. Now let's talk about the stats. Copperhead Strike is a mock rides multi-launch coaster, and it has a height of 82 feet, a top speed of 50 miles per hour, a length of 3,255 feet, 5 inversions, and 2 launches, one of which being a booster launch. Other than the length, Copperhead Strike's stats may sound unimpressive, but this is definitely one of those rides that proves a coaster doesn't have to be the tallest or fastest to be a great ride. Let's talk about the ride experience. Copperhead Strike starts by immediately going into a slow inversion called a JoJo roll, and it has some of the craziest hang time I've ever experienced. After this, you take a 180-degree slightly banked turn into a show building, which I'll talk about. After the show scene ends, you launch to 42 miles per hour, and a lot of people talk about this launch having a slow acceleration, and while I do agree with that, the launch does have a pretty good kick to it when it starts off. After the launch, you go straight into a vertical loop, which has some really good hang time and some good positive forces going in and out. You then travel into an airtime hill, which has some very strong and pretty good sustained ejector airtime. The next element is a whippy corkscrew, which is fun, but it isn't super memorable. Then you do some fun twisting and turning maneuvers, which give some good laterals and are just generally fun. Then comes another ejector airtime moment, where you dip into the booster launch, which accelerates you from 35 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour, the top speed of the ride. During the booster launch, there is an airtime hill, and the feeling of speeding up while getting airtime is very cool. You then step up into an inverted top hat. The step up provides another strong airtime moment, and the inverted top hat gives great hang time. Next, you take an overbanked low 90-degree turn, which sends you into another hang time filled vertical loop. Since you are going faster on this loop than the other loop, this one seemed to have more positives and less hang time. You then go into a whippy element which has no name listed, but it feels and looks kind of like a stangle dive. The element is very whippy and gives some strange lateral airtime. After this, you go through another section of whippy twists and turns, which is fun, but it feels a little bit useless. However, after this comes possibly the strongest airtime hill yet, which caught me off guard every time. You then pop up back into the brakes, giving another great airtime moment. Overall, if you haven't noticed, this ride is full of strong airtime and amazing hang time, and it feels like the amount of time that you are out of your seat is longer than you are in your seat. Now let's talk about the theming. Copperhead Strike is located in the Blue Ridge Junction area of Carowinds, which has decent theming, but Copperhead Strike's queue and plaza is where the majority of the theming is. Copperhead Strike theming starts with an awesome ride sign. One thing I really appreciate in coasters is a cool sign or logo, and this ride definitely delivers. Past the ride sign, there is a wide path where you can get a great view of the track twisting around you, and some props and posters are placed around. Then when you enter the main queue, there are some more props placed around and a few more posters. In the station, there are some themed posters as well. The only theming on the ride is during the pre-show before the launch. In this pre-show building, there are a lot of props like the rest of the queue, but there's also a screen on the left where a story plays out. After this, the on-ride theming ends, but the theming in the queue and area is very good, and the pre-show before the launch is also very good. The pre-show explains the story a bit, but to fully understand, you have to read the description on the website or watch the announcement video. The simplified story is basically, Granny Bird makes famous jam, and you want to steal her jam recipe. So you travel out to her farm, but when you get there, you see that she's secretly making moonshine. She and her, I'm assuming, sons see you and you have to escape in your car, which is what the ride vehicle is supposed to be. Overall, Copperhead Strike has great theming and is some of the best in the Cedar Fair chain in my opinion. Copperhead Strike is an awesome and fun coaster with great hang time, airtime, and theming, and is in my opinion the second best coaster in the park. The only complaint I have with this ride are the restraints. The restraints are for the most part comfortable, but the problem is when you get airtime or hang time, which this ride has a lot of, the restraints feel kind of sharp on your thighs and it does hurt a bit. That's really the only bad thing about this ride. So for Copperhead Strike's final score, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10, and I hope Cedar Fair decides to get more of these mock-rise multi-launch coasters. Thanks for watching my review of Copperhead Strike. If you made it all the way to the end, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, as I plan on making more coaster reviews, and your support really helps a bunch. And I'll see you guys next time on Coaster Nerd Weekly.